Friday Smart Lock version 2 up next. Welcome and thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and tap the bell to get notifications when I post new content. And if you find this video useful, please give it a thumbs up. So for your regular viewer of this channel, today's video might seem a little bit like deja vu. I originally did a review of the first Friday Smart Lock about a year ago today. And if you remember, I got that one at a great price. It was, in fact, a clearance price. And later on, I'll tell you why that little tidbit is significant to this new version of the lock. I want to thank the fine folks over at Friday Home, no longer Friday Labs, who were generous enough to send me version 2 of their smart lock. How does this second version of, in my opinion, a pretty capable smart lock stand up to the original? Let's get straight to it and take a look. Here we are. We have a version 2 of the Friday lock. The packaging is a little different. As you can tell, this is the original packaging that you can see here. And if you watch my first video, in the corner it shows the color of the shell as nickel satin and has the actual size. It has the picture depicting the front shell of the lock, and that is the design of the lock. Of course, it works with Apple HomeKit, which is why we're here. And all 4 sides show the lock. The new packaging, and I am unsure if this is final packaging for them because they are going through a transition. It just notes the color as the bronze finish on a sticker or a label. This looked to be the original packaging for just the internals. As you can see, the shell is outlined here. Still says works with Apple HomeKit, which is important again. And it still has the old FridayLabs.net information on there. So I'm not sure if they have since changed the packaging or if they intend to change the packaging, but FridayLabs.net is no longer. Friday Labs is defunct, and it is now, this lock is now put out by Friday Home. So this is essentially what they're calling version 2 of this lock. So let's go ahead and unbox it and see what comes inside. Now I'm expecting this unboxing to be very similar to the unboxing of the original one, but we'll see if there's any changes. Another label there. And there we go. This comes with the bronze shell. And I requested they send me the bronze shell because the door where it's going on has a bronze handle currently. And that actually looks really good. Looks like it was kind of loose in the packaging a little, but everything looks like it's intact. So that is the shell, and just to compare it with the original satin nickel shell I got, that's what they look like. So if you want satin nickel, if your door hardware is silver or nickel, this one would work perfect. But if you have a bronze door like myself, this actually really looks nice. And I like the design of this. It is a Scandinavian design, and the information they give me is it was designed by BIG, or better known as BJARKE INGELS GROUP, which is a well-known architect. That looks really nice. So let's see what else comes in the box. It looks like the body is still on here. So if I remember correctly, there it is. So this is the actual lock itself. This is the turning mechanism. It has a 3000 mAh battery and looks pretty much the same. I mean, that's very familiar. It looks like the same lock. I'm sure the mounting hardware is probably underneath. Oh, and then on the side there is the HomeKit code. Still there, very important. We have HomeKit. Looks like I have a extra battery with a battery charger, which is nice to have the extra battery. The original one did not have an extra battery, so that is great because this battery does take a bit of time to charge. And since they're not AA's or something standard like that, it's great that they now include an extra battery. So that is a very good move, Friday Home, on your part, and thank you for that. And users will be very grateful to have that extra battery. And this is the plate, again in bronze, very nice. And from what I remember, and these instructions look, again, this looks identical to the original lock I installed, where they have a area here where you can measure the tailpiece, and if it's a little too long, so if it's not within spec, you will need to trim that tailpiece. I remember my original install, and I have actually since moved that lock from its original location because I liked it better where I put it now. I did not need to trim the tailpiece. So it should be a pretty straightforward and simple install for myself. So I'm going to go through that install really quick. If you want to see a more detailed install, I'll reference the original video somewhere up here or in the description below. Let's go ahead and take everything and install this. So this is the existing Friday lock that I'm going to be replacing with the newer version. This is version 1. And as typical with these type of locks, August is very similar. You just install the back of the motor onto your existing hardware. And this is the existing hardware that came with the lock when I installed it. And like I said, I got the bronze color, so it should better match this handle. And it'll look more like a cohesive lock set. So I'm going to go ahead and run through installation. I'm at a bit of an advantage because I've done one of these installations before, and all you will need is a screwdriver. So the first thing we have to do is remove the existing cover. And if you don't have one of these locks already, then you'll need to remove the existing deadbolt that's on there. And with that, there should be 2 screws on either side of the lever. You should have 2 screws you need to remove and just pull that whole back part off. And again, if you want more detailed instructions on how to install this on a regular dumb lock, please check the first video I did for the Friday lock, for version 1 of the Friday lock, and I'll link it in the description below. And light comes on, so I think we're good. Let's go ahead and go through setup. So I have my iPhone right here, and I already have the Friday app downloaded as I'm replacing an existing one. So I'm going to go ahead and click the top and pick Add Lock. I'm going to pick this home. And it says use the HomeKit setup code, and there is a HomeKit setup code on the back of this lock here. It's behind there. Once you install it, you can't see it, but luckily there is also one on the box. Yeah, and there we go. We see the Friday lock. Go ahead and select that. It's adding the Friday lock. And it's been added. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that name the Friday lock. I'm going to put this where the old one was, and that's in the garage. I'm going to include it in favorites and click next. Now suggested scenes, I can add it to my arrive home where it unlocks when I arrive home. If this is under HomeKit though, you will have to confirm on your device, be it your watch I believe or your iPhone. And they have leave home and lock. I'm going to go ahead and include that on both lockdown, and that's lockdown is an automation I have that locks all the doors and closes the garage and does everything security wise, and also included in leave home. So leave home is an automation I've set up that locks when the last person leaves. So when there's no one home, the last person leaves, it locks all the doors and also enables the alarm. I'm going to go ahead and click next. And it says additional setup required in the app. So we're going to hit done here. And let's taking us back to the app. And now we need to calibrate. So we need to close and lock the door manually. So the door is closed and it is locked. Confirming by trying to open it. So that's unlocked and this is locked just to confirm it. So close and lock the door manually. I'm going to hit next. Now it wants me to unlock and open the door. So we unlock the door and open it so we know that the lock isn't engaged, and then we're going to click next there. So it knows the range of motion to lock and unlock the door. Now it's completing the setup. And the setup is finished. Now we can go ahead and mount the shell on the lock. And again, I got this great looking bronze shell, and that just goes right back on the lock there. And it snaps on. And that is a much better match for the existing lever I have at the bottom. So one thing with these locks, you want to make sure that your deadbolt turns freely. If it doesn't turn freely, you need to adjust either the mortise or the lock itself so that it turns freely, because the motors in most of these locks, or I'll say all these locks that are of similar build, won't work. You'll get jam error if the lock is sticky at all. So now that setup is finished, I'm going to close this out. And so now that's finished, let's go ahead and see how it looks in HomeKit. Should be near the bottom. There it is, the garage Friday lock. It's unlocked. Let's go ahead and lock it. See the door turn. It's locked. Then we'll go ahead and unlock it. You could also have Siri lock and unlock the door. Lock the Friday lock.
Still locking the Friday lock. Check back in a bit to confirm.
And the door is locked, and we can ask her to unlock. Unlock the Friday lock.
I'm on it. Still unlocking the Friday lock. Check back in a bit to confirm.
So that's it. It works great under HomeKit. Siri can lock and unlock the door. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the functionality in the native app. So let's go ahead and take a look at the native app, which I have here. And you can see that the Friday lock is showing up in the native app. But right now it's unlocked. I can slide it over to lock it. And slide it over to unlock it. From here, we can also look at settings, I believe. So if we look under settings, we have Friday assists, and these are a few of the automated functions that are a feature of this door. First, we have Friday assist unlock, and if you enable this, your door or your lock will automatically unlock when your device comes within Bluetooth range after being away for a period of time. It uses your phone's location data. So say if you arrive home, you have this on the front door, or in my case, in the door leading from the garage, your hands are full, you don't want to fiddle with the phone, you don't want to dig your keys out of your pockets or your bags. As soon as your device comes within Bluetooth range of the lock, it will automatically unlock. There's also the opposite of that, which is Friday Assist Lock. The second option here, and here you can automatically lock your door a few seconds after closing it. If you enable it, there is a slider that comes up. Let's see if I can get it to come up. And here it'll show you soft, medium, or hard. That's how hard the door senses it being closed to activate that feature. So if I was to activate this, I would set this on hard so that it would have to be a deliberate closing of the door to activate this, because I don't want to lock myself out accidentally. So I'll know in my head that, hey, don't slam the door shut, close it softly so that it doesn't automatically close on me. So I'm gonna leave that at hard. I guess I'll leave that on. And we also have Friday Assist Lock Timer, and what this will do is it will lock your door after a period of time that you set. So you can set it from 1 minute to 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 30 minutes. I'm gonna turn that off. I don't like that function because I don't always have my phone or my watch on me, and I wouldn't have a way to unlock the door. So if we go back and we look at Wi-Fi settings here, you can set it up for Wi-Fi. Right now it's set up on Bluetooth. I'm not going to go ahead and enable that just yet. Update firmware, here's where you update new firmware. The shipping version that they sent me already has the latest version of the firmware, it seems, so a new version available. Recalibrate lock, I'm not going to go through these steps again, but that's the step that we had where we lock the door, hit OK, unlock the door, hit OK. Time zone, I'm in the LA time zone, Southern California, and the firmware version is there. So pretty straightforward functions. You can lock and unlock from the app, and it works in HomeKit and under Siri. So I've switched over to handheld mode. Hopefully the video isn't shaky. I do have a gimbal I'm using on my phone, which I'm using to shoot the video. And I want to try and demonstrate the Friday lock assist. So if you remember, I enabled Friday Assist Lock, and that should enable the lock to lock if the door is shut hard. So I had 3 sets of sensitivity. There was soft, medium, and hard. So if I close the door, it's unlocked now. If I close it softly, which I believe that is, it shouldn't lock. And let me see. Let's see what a medium is. I would say that's about a medium. And it locks the lock. So that could be a medium or hard. I think a hard is kind of like a slam. So maybe that's fine like that. Just know that if I don't want it to lock, I will have to lock it gently. So if I do lock it gently, it shouldn't lock. And again, it didn't. So let me shove it though. Lock. So that was actually harder than the initial time I set it. But yeah, let's try it again. Let's open the door all the way up. And now that was definitely harder than the first time. And it locks. So it does lock, it does work. The sensitivity adjustments, I'm not sure. The first time I did it, when it locked, I thought that was a medium close. Definitely when I slammed it, opened the door all the way and slammed it, it locked. So maybe I have to fiddle around with that, check the settings and see if I can find something that's kind of consistent. Well, that's going to do it for my look at version 2 of the Friday Smart Lock. So what's the difference? Honestly, not much that I could tell during my time with the lock so far, but from the information I was given, the original company, Friday Labs, was based in the UK and with some help designed the original Friday smart lock. Unfortunately, they had issues with the lock working properly, which some of the reviews actually during that initial release seemed to corroborate. Unable to adequately fix those issues, they ended up actually going out of business. Hence that very cheap price I was able to get the first version. Friday Home was formed in late 2018 by some of the people originally involved with the development of the first lock. They knew the lock had potential, so they acquired the IP and all the inventory. I was told that every Friday lock was tested and the firmware upgraded. The Friday app was also rewritten, and Friday Home has claimed to improve on the new locks with new firmware, improved connectivity, built-in Wi-Fi, adjustable geofence for automations, and other various improvements. With these changes, they claim the Friday Home locks are all new, second generation locks, and work consistently and reliably. One thing to point out is that some used Friday Labs locks are still sold at Amazon. So if you want to pick up one of the new version 2, make sure the seller is Friday Home, not Friday Labs. And in fact, I'll post links in the description below. Other than that, mechanically, it appears to be the same lock. And installation was the same as version 1. I've mentioned it in the past, but one very important thing to remember with these type of smart locks is that you'll need an existing deadbolt installed, and it needs to turn freely. I can't emphasize that enough. It must turn freely. If it doesn't, you're going to need to adjust the lock or the hole for the strike plate in the door jamb itself. In my first video, I showed how to do that for the version 1 lock, and if you want to know how to do that and make those adjustments, make sure to watch that first video. And again, I'll post the link in the description. Since I was basically replacing version 1 with version 2, installation was simple and straightforward. Setup was quick, and adding the lock to HomeKit was the same familiar routine that we're all used to for in the HomeKit platform. After using this lock for some time, it works as advertised. But then again, I really didn't have the same issues that some users have had with version 1. One thing I will note is with the Friday Assist lock feature, I could never get it to work consistently. And the door would lock on me when I wouldn't expect it, or not lock at all when I thought it should. At times I would actually slam the door and it still wouldn't lock. So I just ended up turning that feature off because it didn't really work. Hopefully the folks over at Friday Home will be able to fine tune that setting and have it work more consistently with a firmware update or something in the future. I will say though, the Friday Assist unlock fared much better, and I actually turned that on so that when I arrive back home after being out and after I've parked the car in the garage, the door will unlock and be ready for me to enter the house. Overall, I would still recommend this lock. I think the design looks fantastic, and in my experience, as far as the basic functionality, it's worked pretty reliably. So if you're looking for a HomeKit compatible smart lock, you might want to take a look at this second generation Friday lock. If you have any questions or experience with the Friday lock, please share them in the comments below. And until next time, please take care and be safe out there.